So, couple of things when you start on your back. Thinking about just making sure that you are appropriately supported. So for many of us, we might get some, twinges in the back, or we might kind of feel like we're extending through the back a little bit. So this is where it's great to have a blanket of any type. A bath towel is good. Just something that you have around the house. And you can just roll it slightly and kind of set it underneath your knees. And what that's going to do is just allow you to neutralize the low back a little bit. Okay? And if you don't have that, and you still want to neutralize your back, just set your feet on the mat and move them out to the side just slightly and just let your knees touch each other. So your knees will kind of act like the support for yourself instead of just having your legs out straight. And you can do that either way, whatever feels good for you. And then a couple of options for your arms as we come onto our backs. So think about lifting your chest up and kind of tucking your shoulder blades underneath you so your chest and shoulders are a little more open. If you feel or you notice that you're pretty rounded through the shoulders, let your palms turn up. So that's going to invite some openness into that front body right away. If you need a little bit of support underneath your head and you don't have a towel, you could also just roll up the top edge of your mat and let it kind of support you at the base of your skull. Another option for your hands would be to set one or both hands on your low belly. So kind of making whatever choices feel good for you today in that position. And if you're not comfortable in laying on your back for whatever reason, please just come to any other resting or restorative position of your choice. So I see a lot of movement. People are kind of grabbing props and different things, which is totally fine because I want you to be comfortable. Good. And then once you're on your back, take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. Good, and do that one more time. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Big heavy sigh through the mouth. And then just begin to scan your body. Top of the head all the way down to your feet. Just noticing how you feel today. And then as you're in this position, I invite you to do your best to let go. So letting go of tension across the face and the jaw. And just let the ground support you here. Begin to notice the gentle rise and fall of the belly with each breath. Just kind of appreciating the effortlessness of your breath. And also the grounding nature of the breath. So keeping in mind that your control of the breath is something that you can tune into throughout your day. So in periods of stress or anxiety or discomfort, use your breath. We're going to start to lengthen the exhale. So I want you to think about breathing in and then breathing out for twice as long. So for example, you might take an inhale into the low belly for a 3 count. Then you'll make your exhale 6 counts. And if that seems way too long for you, then just speed up how you're counting. So if you get to 3 and you're thinking that is way too long, just count a little bit faster to yourself. As you inhale, think about bringing in new, fresh air into your body. As you exhale, think about getting rid of the stale air and anything that isn't serving you well today. You might even think about creating sort of a slight constriction in the back of your throat with your exhale, kind of coming into more of that yogic breath. So it's kind of the sensation that you get if you're like fogging up a mirror with your breath. And then as we continue to do that 1-to-2 ratio of breathing, inhaling to exhaling, create an intention for your practice today. Something you'd like to focus on. Something that resonates with you today, right now. And then I invite you to keep that intention in your heart and in your mind as you practice today. If your mind starts to wander and think about different things, try to bring it back to that intention. And then we'll take another cleansing breath. So a deep breath in through the nose, followed by a big, heavy sigh through the mouth. And then do that one more time, inhaling through the nose. Big, heavy sigh through the mouth. And then if you are with your legs outstretched, or if you have something underneath your knees, I want you to go ahead and just scoot it off to the side and bring your feet in so they're about hips distance apart. Arms are gonna be down at your sides. And then we're just gonna start to just very gently move the knees from side to side. So we're not moving into a full spine twist here, but you're just gonna rock the knees really gently. So a few inches to either side, just start to get some mobility into the low back and the hips. Good, and then coming back into a neutral spine and neutral leg position. So with your knees in line with your hips, so you have just a little bit of space, being mindful to not let your knees fall out to the side. Bring your arms down to your side, and then as you inhale, I want you to press into both feet equally and lift your hips high into bridge pose. So then as you come up into bridge, notice your knee and hip position. So if you feel like you have one leg kind of falling out to the side, just see if you can do your best to keep your knees in line with your hips. Good, try to lift your hips slightly higher, lift your chin. Pause and breathe and just be in your body, see what you feel. Continuing to breathe and not holding your breath. Good, another inhale. As you exhale, set the hips down. This time, one or both knees, draw them into the chest and just rock gently from side to side. So nice counter pose here, bringing a little bit of flexion or rounding into the back. That's a good way just to kind of massage out the low spine. Good, and then set your feet back down on the mat, same position as before. Arms down at your sides, shoulder blades tucked underneath you. On another inhale, send your hips up, and then as you exhale, you're gonna hold. So you're either gonna hold and pause in bridge pose, or we're gonna move into some coordinated breath work with arm movements. So keeping your hips high. The next time you breathe in, sweep your arms up next to your ears. And then as you exhale, hold. Inhale, hold. Exhale, arms go down, butt comes down. Good, one more time. Inhale, lift your hips up. Exhale, hold. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, keep them overhead. Inhale, keep them up. Exhale, arms come down, hips come down. Good, one more time. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, hold. Inhale, arms come up. One or both arms, perfectly fine. Exhale, hold. Keep lifting your hips high. Breathe in. Exhale, arms down. Butt comes down. Knees draw into the chest, rocking out the low back. Nice. So a little bit of activation around the hips. Now we're going to do a little bit of hip opening. So we'll take reclining pigeon pose. So both feet are going to stay on the mat. You're going to cross your left leg over your right and just let that left knee drop out to the side. So you'll probably feel a stretch here in the rotators of the hip, and you can circle out that left ankle a little bit if that feels good. And then if you'd like, draw the legs in and grab behind your right thigh. So if you can't quite reach your right thigh, I want you to use a towel, a blanket, a strap, whatever you have available to you, and wrap it around that right thigh so you can use that to bring your legs in. And then here I want you to just explore a little bit of movement. So you might rock from side to side. You might rotate the ankles or bend and straighten the knee on the right. So just kind of see what feels good. And then all the while I want you to continue to breathe deeply. So inhaling and exhaling at a rate that's available to you and just kind of allowing yourself to be in your body. Relaxing through the face and the jaw. And then we'll try our best to keep our legs in this position and just let your legs go to the right. So your legs are going to kind of drop to the right and then turn and look to the left. So just a version of a spine twist here, and if it works for you, you can extend that left arm out, sort of in a T position, and just kind of look that way. So depending on the flexibility in your spine, your legs don't have to come to the ground, that's perfectly fine, but try to keep your shoulder blades on the mat. Take a couple nice deep breaths in here and just kind of feel that expansion on the left side of your trunk. Breathing deeply. Good. Using your exhale, uncrossing the legs, and just taking your time bringing them back into the center. And then just like you did initially, just kind of rocking the knees from side to side. And then we'll take reclining pigeon side too. So this time you'll take your right leg, figure four stretch, crossing it over the left, pressing that knee out to the side, maybe a little bit of movement into the right ankle. And then strap or towel or hands, draw the legs in, grab behind your left thigh, and then add whatever movement feels good for your body here. So if you are drawing your legs in, you'll probably feel a little bit of a stretch through the low back as well as the glutes and the outer hip, maybe even the inner thigh. So it just kind of depends on where you're restricted. Just continuing to breathe. And if your mind starts to wander, I want you to bring it back to your intention that you set for your practice today. And then maybe bring it back to some mindful breathing. We'll keep our legs in that crossed position and just let them slowly drop to the left side this time. Extending the right arm out to a T and turning and looking to the right. Reclining spinal twist variation. And just feel free to use your blanket or whatever props you have to support your body. Couple of nice deep breaths into that right side of the trunk. Pausing and breathing. And then slowly coming out of it, and we'll start to make our way up into a tabletop position. So to get there, take your time, roll through your side, and then just press up to sitting. And then come into hands and knees whenever you feel ready. So as we come into hands and knees, we'll begin to just cycle through cat and cow pose. So those are kind of our introductory spine mobilization poses. So when you drop the belly down, you'll lift your gaze forward and come to cow. As you exhale, you'll press away and come into cat, C-shaping your spine. And just start to flow with your breath. So inhale, drop the belly down, tailbone up, look forward, cow pose. Exhale, tuck and round, C-shaping the spine, cat pose. We'll do several cycles here, so probably about 5 more cycles at your pace of breath. We're just starting to move with your breathing today. And as you press into cat, feel free to shift your hips from side to side. And just kind of come into the side bodies a little bit. Just kind of noticing how your body feels in these different postures and poses. And just remembering to be kind to yourself. So this is your practice. You can do whatever feels good for you. If you need to make modifications as we go, please feel free to do that. And then you're always welcome to come into any resting position of your choice and just focus on some mindful breathing. So let's take one more cycle of cat and cow here at your own pace. And then we'll come back to that neutral spine position. So we're gonna work on some transitions and some sun salutations today. So we'll have a little bit of activation through our midsection first. So this should be familiar to the majority of you, but we'll send the left leg back. So left leg back, knee straight, toes are gonna be down on the mat. So as you send your leg back, I want you to notice the activation in your left glute, so your left buttock muscle. You might flip the long edge of your mat so you have a little bit of padding underneath that right kneecap, but what you're noticing is that activation in your low belly. So if you ever feel like your belly is sagging and you don't notice that activation in your left glute, I want you to think about pulling your belly button in and straightening your knee. So the goal of this is that your back is always parallel to your mat. Good. Release the left knee, still keeping your belly in, and then send the right foot back. So right knee is straight now. You also want to be mindful of not rotating too far through your hips or your trunk. So again, that spine is straight, it's parallel to your mat, your tummy muscles are in. Just think about that nice neutral spine position. As you're here, you're breathing. Good, release the right knee, tabletop. Left foot goes back, knee is straight, left butt cheek is active. If you want, float your right arm, cross body balance. You don't have to float your arm and your leg together, you're doing opposites though. You can also just float one of them. Good, release to tabletop, neutral spine, tummy in. Right toes go back, left arm floats. Belly in. Back is flat. Pausing and breathing. Beautiful. Good. One more time. Release to tabletop. Left toes back. Knee is straight. Left glute active. Right palm floats. Tummy in. Top of your head is going forward, so you're not overextending your neck or pulling your chin down too far. Release, tabletop, last time, right toes back, left arm floats, pause and breathe. Good, release to tabletop. Walk your hands over to the left corner of your mat, and then drop your hips back towards your right heel for a side stretch. So diagonal stretch, arms go to the left, hips drop to the right heel. Pause and breathe, go as far as you feel comfortable. We're not giving out any awards for how far down you can go. Pause and breathe. Good, come up on an inhale. Walk your hands over to the right side this time. Drop the hips to the left. Nice side stretch here. Breathe into the left side of the trunk. Good, inhale, tabletop. We're gonna walk the hands a little bit more forward and come to plank from the knees. So your hands are gonna walk towards the top edge of your mat, and then I want you to let your hips come down till they're about in line with your shoulders. So you sort of have that nice straight line from your head down to your knees. So how you can think about this is if you were in regular plank, you'd be in that push-up hold where your trunk is parallel to your mat. Plank from the knees, same activation, waist up, your belly is still in. So if you feel like your hips are sagging down or your butt is in the air, you need to make some adjustments. So you should feel the activation in your midsection just like you did when we were on tabletop position, those hands and knees. Good, then I want you to hug those elbows right next to your trunk. Lower yourself all the way down to your tummy. Keep your hands down at your sides. Tops of the feet are flat. You're gonna be light on your hands. Lift your chest up. So head and chest lift up. Just a nice baby back bend here for baby cobra. So if you're thinking about lifting your chest up, try to be light on your hands. So it doesn't matter how far you lift. You don't have to think about pressing into your hands super far. Just lift your chest up a little bit. And think about pulling your shoulder blades together. Good, exhale, release down. You can turn your cheek to the mat if you'd like. We're gonna do that 2 more times. So tops of the feet are flat, you're on your stomach. Inhale, lift your chest and your head up, pull your shoulder blades together. Baby cobra. Notice the activation in the back body. Exhale, cheek to the mat. Good, one more time. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, release. Good, you're gonna press through tabletop, pulling your belly in and come to child's pose. So big toes together, knees wide, drop your sit bones back. If you're unable to drop your sit bones back, you're gonna come into puppy pose and keep your hips lifted. For those of you that have practiced downward facing dog previously, we're gonna press into down dog. If you have not experienced downward facing dog and you have any issues with lightheadedness, you're gonna stay in tabletop or child's pose. So if you'd like to try downward dog, your hands are gonna go towards the top edge of your mat and you're gonna create a triangle shape with your body. The thing about down dog is it doesn't matter if your heels touch the mat or if your knees are bent, but you want to keep a good amount of space between your hands and your feet. So you're really using up the entire part of your mat. And what you want to focus in on here is the position of your pelvis. So think about your sitting bones lifting up and back, and then just let your legs and your spine follow. Good, pause and breathe. Nice, head and neck in line with the spine. You can kind of feel free to pedal out your feet a little bit if that feels good. Good, and then release either to tabletop or child's pose. We'll just do that one more time, so we'll make some transitions through that downward facing dog position today. It's only an option, so if it doesn't work out for your body, don't be hard on yourself. It's a pretty significant inversion. Head is lower than the heart, so if you get dizzy or lightheaded, come back to tabletop. So we'll tuck the toes under one more time from tabletop. Lift the sit bones up and back and come into downward facing dog. Hips are high. Grounding through your hands and feet. And if you're not sure about your spacing, you can come forward into plank. Shoulders are over your hands to check your spacing. So you shouldn't have to adjust your hands and feet as you go from plank to down dog. So same distance from hands to feet. And then wherever you are, if you're in tabletop or if you're in down dog, I want you to start to look towards the top of your mat, and then if it's available to you, walk your feet up towards your hands, and then we're gonna come into a forward fold at the top edge of our mat. So just kind of letting your upper body hang, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, using a chair if you need to make your way up to the top of your mat. Be kind to yourself, yogis. And just generously folding there. So folding forward at the top of your mat. If it doesn't work out for you to fold forward, then you can always keep your body up a little bit more. You can support yourself on your thighs, whatever works for you. Bending your knees as you need to. And then as you breathe in, come up to a flat back, halfway lift. Good. So tummy muscles are in. Beautiful. Then as you exhale, bend your knees and round your spine. Forward fold. Relax the back of your neck. Good. Inhale, come up halfway. Flat back. Belly in. Exhale, round and fold. Good. Take your time. Come all the way up to stand. Pedal out those feet if you need to once you get to standing. Good, and come into mountain pose at the top of your mat. So palms are forward, gaze is straight ahead. Be in your body. Notice how you feel. Reconnect with that intention that you set for your practice today. Good. Have a little bit more spacing between your feet if you need it for balance. Pull your belly in and tuck your tailbone under. On an inhale, sweep your arms up, look up. As you exhale, I want you to open the chest nice and wide. So elbows come down to your sides. Think about really broadening across your collarbones. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center, forward fold, leading with your heart. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, round and fold. Inhale, press through your feet, come all the way up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good, a half sun salutation again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open the chest. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold, lead with the heart. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good, we're gonna move on to a variation of sun salutation A. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, open the chest. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold, round your back. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, couple of choices. You're gonna plant your hands, step back to tabletop or plank from your toes or your knees. And then you'll exhale to downward facing dog or tabletop. So lots of choices, making some of those transitions, utilizing that downward facing dog if that's in your practice today. Good. Pause and breathe, be in your body. Looking forward, step or walk your feet up to your hands. On an inhale, come to a flat back, halfway lift. So we're gonna start to make some of those floor to stand transitions. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Good, breathe in, come all the way up. Reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice job, yogis. We're gonna do it one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open the chest. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down. Inhale, flat back, Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank from your toes or your knees. Good. From here, tabletop or down dog, or I have one more choice for you. From plank, I want you to lower down to your tummy. Inhale, tops of the feet flat, lift your chest up, baby cobra. So a little back bend, little back activation. Good, pause and breathe. Good, then from here, pull your belly in, tabletop or downward facing dog. Pause and breathe. Good, see how you feel. Check in with that intention. Good, take a breather, child's or puppy pose. Cleansing breath wherever you are. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And just kind of check in with yourself here. So notice how you're feeling. Notice how it felt to maybe take a couple new poses today, or poses maybe you haven't done for a few weeks or months. And then when you feel ready, we're going to come up to tabletop again. And then from tabletop, I want you to step your right foot through and come into low lunge. So you can flip that long edge of your mat if you'd like. Walk the hands up that front leg. So in low lunge, shoulders are going to track over your pelvis here. You're going to keep your left hand on your right leg. Extend your right arm back to rotate. So you're kind of looking back at that right hand. Maybe circle out your wrist a little bit if that feels good, or open and close your hand. Just kind of opening up that right side of the chest. Pausing and breathing. Good. Release from that twist. Sweep both arms up. Soften the tops of the shoulders. Lift your gaze. Pressing the front of that left hip forward. So you're feeling a little bit of a stretch into that hip flexor and quad. Good. Breathe in. As you exhale, I want you to press your hands forward this time. So you're kind of rounding out your mid-back. And you can always toe heel that right foot out a little bit more for better balance. You have a little bit of wider spacing in your lunge. Good. Then release the hands, send them back up. Soften the tops of your shoulders. So if you feel like your shoulders are hugging your ears, try to let them drop down. Good. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat, tabletop. Step that right foot back. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, neutral spine. So flat back. Exhale this time, left foot steps through. Walk or sweep your arms up, low lunge. Press the front of that right hip forward. Nice and tall through your spine. So chest lifts, extend the left arm back, follow it with your eyes, and rotate out that wrist if that feels good for you. So in that foot that's forward, try to spread those toes nice and wide so you can really utilize the entire foot for balance. Avoid kind of scrunching or curling the toes. And then slowly come out of that twist, sweep both arms up. Let the shoulders drop down, reach through the fingertips. Take the arms a little bit wider, like in a nice V shape. And just pause and breathe. And then as you exhale, let your hands come down. This time I want you to set them on the back of your hips. So point your elbows backwards. So you're kind of you're setting your hands on your buttocks, pointing your elbows back, lifting your chin. So a little bit of chest and throat opening. Still pressing the front of that right hip forward. Good. Pause and breathe. See how you feel. Good. And then as you exhale, slowly come out of that. This time we're going to come back to tall kneeling. So you're going to take that left leg and step it back. You can fold your mat if you need to for a little bit of extra padding. We're gonna do a modification of camel pose. So if it's available to you, you're gonna tuck your toes under. If you're like, no way, I'm not doing that, just keep the tops of your feet flat. Nice and tall through your trunk. Hands, once again, are gonna come to the sacrum. That's that little triangle bone on the bottom of your spine. Point your elbows back, open up across the chest. Good, breathe in and lift your chin up. If it's available to you, firm up your buttocks and take a little baby back bend. If it's not available to you, don't sweat it. And then whenever you come back to that neutral spine, I want you to pull your tummy muscles in so you're really using your abdominal muscles. So you can come into that baby back bend, nice tight glutes so they're supporting your spine. And then exhale, come back to neutral. You can do it a couple times if it feels good for your body. If it doesn't, hold in that kneeling position. So elbows back, glutes are tight. Look up, baby back bend. Good. Exhale, pull the belly in, and we're gonna come to hare pose. So we're just gonna curl ourselves into a ball. Kind of supporting ourselves. Forehead can be to the mat. Nice roundness through the spine. If you're not able to get that much bending in your hips and knees, then you're gonna be in puppy pose, hips lifted. Take a cleansing breath here. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Good, one more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. When you're ready, taking your time, we're gonna come back onto our backs. So however you wanna get there safely, just slow and mindful transitions. Just like we did when we started. So back on our backs. And once you're on your backs, I want you to pull one or both knees in and just give a little massage out to the low back. Rocking gently from side to side. And then if you practice happy baby pose, I'll talk you through that. So this is gonna be a little inner thigh groin stretch. So you can use your strap here as well. You can reach down for the instep of your feet, and you're gonna work on pressing your feet into your hands. If that's not available to you, you could also grab at your thighs. So a little hip and groin opening if you can't quite reach for your feet. Beautiful. Rocking feels good in this pose, or just holding. We're not forcing anything, just kind of coming in until we find that comfortable edge. Pausing and breathing, and then when you feel ready, you can start to slowly come out of it, maybe just drawing the knees back into the chest. And then we'll come slowly, allowing our legs to come down, extending the legs all the way out. Reach your arms up over your head and take a full body stretch. Fingertips to toes. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more time, deep breath in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Release your arms down at your sides and come into your final relaxation pose. So either Shavasana or corpse pose on your back, maybe with a little support underneath the knees. Or if you're uncomfortable on your back, feel free to roll to either side, use your head or use your arm as your pillow and just curl up there. But allow the eyes to close here. Or lower your gaze. And just come back to your breath. Taking a moment to notice how you feel right now as we come to the end of our practice today. And then taking a moment of gratitude for coming to your mat, for dedicating this time for self-care. And then just repeating these phrases to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. just allowing your body and mind to be still for a few moments.